Alright, straight to business, because I'm running late. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back for more Ace Attorney 3. And welcome back, LG. Missed ya.
Hello, it's fantastic to be back.
Well, we are starting the final day of trial in the final case of Ace Attorney 3. Taking all bets as to how many streams this is going to take me.
Looking at the size of the scroll bar, I want to say maybe 3.
Well, let's see. Anyway, February 10th, 9:39 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 1. Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself? Ah, morning, Pearls. My client, who I'm guessing has been replaced by Dahlia Hawthorne at this point, is not here. PokeDelta says at least 4. Can we go for 5? Oh, God. Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen to Mystic Maya. I'm sorry. We don't know yet. The investigation is still going on. I still, by the way, don't know whose authority they can use to prevent me from going into the Inner Temple when I'm the defense attorney. Also, I don't know what army they could have possibly used to prevent me from doing so, despite whoever the fuck's authority they were using to not let me into the Inner Temple, because if it was me, no force on Earth would have stopped me from getting into that Inner Temple. No Godos, Losses Edgeworths, or Franziska von Karmas could have stopped me. Anyway, oh, I see. Wait, there's 3 parts to this trial, so 2 to be continues. Good lord. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those locks in the training hall? No. She's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the Inner Temple. She's required to be here in court. Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? Because she's actually Dahlia and she hates my guts? By the way, LG, you do know that I suspect that Iris has been replaced by Dahlia, right?
Oh yes, I've been watching the VODs as they've gone up.
Good. I remembered that. I just don't remember. Oh, yeah, and then I also remember Godo is involved in the murder somehow. I don't remember. Oh, then obviously it's confirmed that Elise Dunim was Misty Fey, and that both Iris and Dahlia were Fays. I don't remember much else. You'd think that I would have learned to rewatch my latest VOD when I've gone multiple weeks without streaming, or at least not streamed for at least a week, but instead I chose to rewatch my Crystal episodes while I was in Grand Rapids last week in preparation for the glorious return of Beast Lad. I have to admit, it is kinda strange.
If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby.
Oh god, it's you, and what's she doing there, other than maybe flirting with Godo?
She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak.
Today's testimony? What?
You heard me. You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution.
Against herself? What?
The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession. Or so I've heard.
Okay, but A, which prosecutor? Is it Godo? Because Godo's overprotective. Again, he's Diego Armando. I don't think the game has officially confirmed it yet, but fucking hell, I was right about everything else.
Basically confirmed it.
I would be, like, the actual subverting expectations would be if I was right about literally everything else, and Godo actually turned out to be Kilometers Lost as Edgeworth in disguise. But no, it's not going to do that. But Godo's overprotective of Maya at this point. And with the evidence looking very bad for her, he would try to put pressure on Iris for a confession to avoid having to try Maya once she gets out of the... Because I don't think Franziska... Well, okay, she might.
Also, if nothing else, getting her to confess ends the trial early, and they can go back to unlocking the door.
Not untrue. Also, Dahlia would be more than happy to throw her own twin sister under the bus. Franziska von Karma, what are you... No, I'm 99%...
I know what you're thinking!
I'm 99% sure it's Godo.
I know what you're thinking! But
No,
Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today.
She must have thrown an unholy fit, though. Take that as my line, because, like, Phoenix, it should be damn obvious who the prosecutor's gonna be.
Who else but Godot?
Yeah, I figured as much. Guy was stomping around making a misogynistic mess of himself, and after all.
Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern.
Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's...
Exactly. She's been out there all night, trying to remove those trick locks.
Fran Maya confirmed?
Fran Maya! I didn't see it during AA2, but I see it now.
Yeah.
With the head
Go ahead.
With the head nun's assistance, natural. We estimate that the last of the lock should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do appreciate the update, Loster Edgeworth.
Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow.
He also intended to nail Mia, and I'm pretty sure he never did. I mean, that said, you still don't have to tell me that, because I know that since Ace Attorney 1, they decided even 3-day trials were too long, so they decided to go 2 days, except they made 2 days last as long as 5 days. I still don't quite understand this decision.
It feels like it's paced better, at least.
Does it? Well, okay.
I think so.
I'll tell you what, it probably doesn't from my perspective because I do the bad pacing myself. Anyway, I'm going to update my counters list.
Ooh, new counters.
Well, I don't know about new counters. I'm going to remove several of the 9s from the LHE because that's a little bit excessive at this point. And by several, I mean you'll actually be able to see the end of the number now. Also, with Godo returning, I'm going to get rid of the Larry Lashes, because I'm reasonably certain we're done with that, and we're just going to put back the cups of coffee. 2 E's, not 3. Okay. Oh, I should probably at least put a 0 there as a placeholder. I'm not on my game tonight. You can probably tell both because I was late and because I'm already falling apart and it hasn't even been 20 minutes yet. Heck, it's barely been 10 minutes. Anyway, you don't have to tell me that.
Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday.
No. Now my lungs are collapsing, my digestive system is trying to kill me, but I'm still a frantic maniac. So, hooray. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger.
Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold on to someone else. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner.
What? No! Go away! Also, who did I pass the cold on to? Are you sick? I hope to God you're sick. Go away! Shoo! We don't need you no more. Okay, I need to add some more 9s to that. Like, it was fun while it lasted, but we're not going to see the end of that number now. Well, you know what? We'll still see the end of that number. I'll just multiply it by 10. There. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Ms. Elise Dunim, no, I mean Ms. Misty Fey. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. I don't like the implications of it, Pokey Delta. Also, Phoenix, this gets you an extra I want to kill you, because this one is obvious. You don't know what Morgan Fey is at. Woman's been literally the most frickin' consistent character in this entire series.
It feels like a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Get to someone's bottom. Probably multiple people's bottoms. Here's hoping it's Iris and Dahlia. I'm sorry, what? I have a question.
Yes.
I get why we changed defense attorneys. I understand Godo bullied his way back into the prosecution stand, and they wrote it in so that Franziska had something better to do, so that she wouldn't fight him. Why did we change judges?
Keep advancing the dialogue and you'll find out.
I don't think any explanation in the game will make any sense whatsoever.
Oh, I think it will.
Unless the other judge literally died. Wouldn't surprise me. But alright. Court is... I mean, just... Bottom line is... Okay, even if you change the attorneys... You still want to go in front of the judge who's already heard the case up to this point firsthand. Also, I really like doing the other judge's Canadian accent.
It's true, he is very fun.
Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Dot dot dot.
Dot dot dot. Your Honor? What are you... Who? Me? Oh, well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted.
We know where Phoenix's cold went!
Phoenix wasn't even in the courtroom, though! That's impossible! My parents are
but
microbiologists, biochemists. I can tell you 100% sure that is not how any of this shit works.
But consider, it's funny.
What the fuck? Logic doesn't apply here. Maybe the Canadian judge went to go visit Phoenix or something. I don't know why, considering Phoenix literally has never had a case in front of the Canadian judge. Anyway, therefore I'll be standing in for him. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains... Phoenix, the fuck do you know? You've literally... Yeah, no, Phoenix has never had a case in front of the Canadian judge. First of all, he was only introduced in this game. In case 2, which was where we meet him, he was trying Luke at me for being masked to mask, and we interrupted that case. Case 3 was the normal judge. Case 4 was Mia having a trial in front of that. Mia and Lost as Edgeworth, or Diapers Edgeworth. I don't know. But it does explain a lot. They're both stupid. But anyway, my poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. Aha!
It is impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. And this is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment.
And passing gas. Well said, Mr. Godo. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end there, anyway. Now then, Mr. Godo, please proceed with your opening statement. I thought that was his opening statement, but sure.
Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world.
Coffee?
The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug.
I knew he was going there. He's incredibly predictable.
He is nothing if not consistent.
So then, you mean... Forget it. What did you mean?
During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to commit her role in the crime.
Sorry, refused to what her role in the crime?
Admit her role in the crime.
I think you said commit her role in the crime.
Oh.
Which would mean she's innocent. I win. Victory.
Well, of course she didn't commit it yesterday. She committed it the night before.
And how would you know? Were you there?
At 11 p.m.
How would you know? Were you there?
No, but the autopsy reports are infallible.
They can get updated also.
Infallible, I say!
Actually, you don't update autopsy reports. Good on ya.
Because they've never been wrong.
I agree. Good man.
But today, she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make.
I have a confession to make. That's not Sister Iris.
What do you mean? She looks exactly like her.
Yeah, it's her twin sister. Anyway, confession. The defendant? Iris. Why didn't she discuss this with me first? Because she's... Well, I was going to say she's fucking Dahlia, but... No, she actually is Dahlia. I don't know who fucked Dahlia, but... I don't think we want to go there. Especially since she's technically dead. This brings up another question. Why is it that I always have stupidest questions regarding things like spirit channeling? I mean, some of them have been answered. Like things like fingerprints and blood would still be, or a blood type would still be of the person who was channeling the spirit. We know that because the Maya spelled out in the real murder scene was in Elise Dunim or Misty Fey's blood. But I have another question, and I really, really should not go here. LG, do you have any idea where I'm going?
I don't believe so.
All right, let me just get this out of the way because it's gonna bother me. If someone has sex with someone who's channeling a spirit, is that technically raping the spirit medium, or is that
Yeah,
necrophilia, or
probably.
both?
Well, no, they're alive when it happens, so it's not. It wouldn't be necrophilia, but it definitely would be rape.
There are so many stupid
Unless
questions
of
about this power.
unless of course the medium consented to it beforehand and is cool with the whole thing.
I suppose that would make a certain degree of sense. I don't know why these thoughts pop into my head, man. I really don't.
Oh, I
Especially
wish I
since it's a
could tell.
especially since it's a fictional power. Oh boy. Very well. So I'm guessing that we're going to spend the first part of trial trying to poke holes in Iris's, or quote unquote Iris's, testimony to prove that her confession is fake.
Perhaps. I haven't read ahead.
Neither have I. Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession.
Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple. Witness, is there something that you want to confess to? Yes. But first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. It's alright. What is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that Yeah... Okay, this I did know. I did play a part in this terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Yeah, that tends to be what the word confession means, Judge. Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Ms. Elise Dunim? No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard, where I desecrated it. What? Order in the court. Order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder? ... Yes, that's correct. Well, Phoenix, I don't know why you're surprised by this. Accessory, yes, specifically accessory after the fact. And if I'm correct, by the way, that it was Godo who was the murderer, she was technically assisting an agent of the law, and either may have been forcibly coerced, or because this was an agent of the law, she didn't assume that it was a crime because it was an agent of law instructing her what to do. So, Your Honor, you can see my client is still perfectly innocent and was merely led astray by that man over there on the prosecution at the prosecution stand. I rest my case.
Prove it.
Well, let's take a look at the actual crime scene. What do we see? We see the little torch area, or wherever the fuck it was, where the body was actually where the body was actually killed. We see a white stone tab. I'm sorry, a white stone marble hoojamajiggets with red letters on it that spell Maya. Furthermore, Your Honor, we also see that around this location of the murder... I can't see them. Well, this is my point exactly, Godo. We see that around this pillar, someone spent an awful lot of time digging up the snow, almost as if they couldn't see where the blood would have been spilled, so they had to be extra careful about what they shoveled up.
Circumstantial! Hearsay!
You literally just said you can't see the bright red letters on this white pillar over here. There is only one person to whom this applies. My case is rested, Your Honor. Now, allow me to prove that Godo himself is also innocent. That's the tricky thing.
Okay, so perhaps you proved that I cleaned it up. You don't prove anything else.
You cleaned it up and you hid the evidence. I mean, Godo very specifically can't see red on white. We established that in the third case of this game. He's not actually blind. The visor lets him see mostly, but the red tint of the visor, I'm assuming, just makes all white look like red to him. It's like when Cosmo Kramer accidentally drank tomato soup, tomato juice, thinking it was milk, because the Kenny Loggins chicken logo was too bright. And if any of you actually understand where I pulled that from, congratulations, you're old like me.
I mean, it's a Seinfeld thing. I can tell that just from the name, but...
There's a specific episode where Kenny Loggins puts up a big red neon sign that's like right at level with Kramer's apartment, and it screws with his rods and cones, so he's like perpetually seeing red, and he thinks that he pours Seinfeld's tomato juice into his cereal, thinking that it's milk.
Ew.
And then he does something even worse, but we're not going there. Oh god. Anyway, 3 minutes in court and I've already cracked the case. Aha!
Huh. Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case, it's to murder.
Your Honor,
isn't that
the prosecution just admitted to being an accomplice to something.
To something!
Arrest him. Anyway.
Isn't that right, Mr. Trite?
Yes, Godo, you are an accomplice to murder. And probably also, well, I mean, again, I can easily prove that he's an accomplice as well. So he'd be just as guilty as Iris, if nothing else. Anyway, that Godo is a nut job. This is the confession they were conferring about. Pains me to say this, but it does look like Iris's testimony No. Iris's testimony crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. No, she was still technically on our side of the bridge. Anyway, go ahead.
Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions?
Iris was covering for... No shit, she was covering for someone! Phoenix, you said you were feeling stronger, so I hoped that you would have the one brain cell in this universe. I can tell you absolutely do not. Maybe the judge has it, because Phoenix seemed smarter when he was sick. The Canadian judge has it, I should say. Now I'm definitely up the paddle without a creek. Or a life jacket. I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Kurain tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. Ah, she's gonna try to throw Maya under the bus. This makes perfect sense for Dahlia to do. I'm sorry, but main family? Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself if need be, to protect her. But it doesn't explain why Godo is in on this.
It does seem odd.
It seems very odd. Like, it's counter to literally everything he was just saying. I mean, not Morgan, Pokey Delta. Morgan's in jail. Morgan will stay in jail. Morgan doesn't give a fuck about Morgan becoming the master. Morgan just wants Pearl to become the master. And Dahlia just wants to screw over the main family. She can't get her revenge on Mia, so she'll have her revenge on Maya. Like, I don't... Even if she has to work with her mother, who I feel like she wouldn't like. Although, to be fair, it wasn't her mother's fault that they were separated. It was her father's fault. I don't know. Anyway, the daughter of the master of the Kurain channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey.
Wake up and smell the coffee, trite.
There was an animation, but yeah, sure.
Whatever.
She's naming Maya, and you're okay with this, Godo. Order in the court. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer. I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. Impossible! And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her. Again, impossible. Objection. That's literally impossible. The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Judge, when is the appropriate time to say that?
You're enforcing this now?
What? Yeah, well, first of all, yes.
Enforcing this now?
Yeah, we're enforcing this 3 games in, and in the 5th and final case of the trilogy, we're enforcing this. When there have been so many outbursts at the wrong time in every single preview, but whatever. Also, when is the appropriate time to say, hey, what the defendant is saying is literally impossible? Now,
I mean, presumably during the cross-examination.
I mean, I suppose, but I shouldn't have to wait till then to point out a glaring contradiction in what she already said. But alright, now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime? Yes, Your Honor. I thought I was prepared for the unexpected. I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. Hooray! Maya's on trial for murder for the third time, and she isn't even well, okay. We don't know that she's here, but she is, in fact, here. At least if my theory that Maya is channeling Dahlia is correct, and given the fact that Dahlia seems to have black hair, and I don't... Well... Okay, if Iris is naturally a redhead, and I'm inclined to believe that, again, because as I understand it, when dyeing hair, going from lighter to darker is easier than going darker to lighter. There probably would be black hair dye somewhere at Hazakura Temple, but I have no fucking clue where Dahlia would have gotten her hands on it in such short amount of time between when... Yeah, no. Maya's... Occam's razor, Maya is channeling Dahlia, and this is Dahlia. Alright, let's go. Let's pick holes in Dahlia's testimony and get to her bottom again. The real murderer. I went to the inner temple that night and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. What? Why? While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. So she's saying it's self... What the fuck is this convoluted bullshit? Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. So it was in self-defense. Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal.
Lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45. Iris, for a fact, was at Hazakura Temple shortly before 10 o'clock and rang the bell. This I know because I saw it myself and spoke to her. Lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45. If we assume that immediately after ringing the bell, Iris hopped on the snowmobile and took that to Dusky Bridge. I think they said that takes 5 minutes. So she would have gotten to Dusky Bridge around 10:05. Maya should have been... Well, first of all, that's after Bikini claimed to have seen her there. And that theoretically would have also been after Maya was already locked in the Hoojamajiggets. But if Iris wasn't actually there, she wouldn't have been locked in the Hoojamajiggets at that point. So, anyway, bottom line is, if she got there, she crossed the bridge. I don't think they said how long it takes from when you cross the bridge or to cross the bridge and then get to the inner temple.
I can't assume it's very long, since you can see the bridge from the temple.
Yes. So let's assume maybe 5 minutes to cross. Then it's 10:10. The incident occurs. Let's say that takes another 10 minutes, right? So it's 10:20. Iris has to drag that body across the bridge in 25 minutes. By the way, first of all, with the cane, somehow, I mean, it's not strictly speaking impossible for her to have gotten back to the other side of the bridge, but then that doesn't explain what Larry saw. Of course, that could just be written off as Larry having a fucking fever dream, because he's Larry. But it does explain how she could have gotten there despite me seeing her. See, the problem is, the biggest problem is I can't figure out the hole to push in this testimony. I also don't know why Iris's testimony is gone, but the occult magazine isn't. Loss of blood. Well, okay, loss of blood from a stab in the back. So the fact that it's a stab in the back means that I need to go kill that bot. But it also means that, what was I saying? It also makes it unlikely that it was self-defense. I don't know. We're going to have to keep going. And of course, as is my way, I'm going to have to press everything. But anyway, something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple. Well, that's what her testimony that you just said was bullshit and crumpled up said. And that the person who did go was that woman. First of all, nobody else in this court knows about that woman. Iris even admitted it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Press all the buttons. Oh. There is something I have to do first, though. My brain is not working correctly today. It never is. Okay. Taken care of. Goody.
Woohoo!
Alright, the real murderer. I went to the inner temple that night and I saw it all happen in the garden. Press the button! Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple.
Objection! Did she now? Too bad for you. What she said yesterday doesn't mean very much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go?
Talking to her. Oh, wait. I see. He's asking where it was that I was when she said... Okay. It was in the Inner Temple's training hall?
A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony.
As we have established previously, yes.
That would be properly described as hearsay.
What do you have to say, witness? I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? What?
She's been talking to Pearl.
Oh, everybody's been talking to Pearl. Or Dahlia just wants to get under Nick's skin, but I didn't want it to. I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder. There. We all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden? Well, Your Honor. Okay, press the button. You're saying that the victim attacked Ms. Fey. Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse. I think that is technically true what Pokey Delta said. Hearsay is something about that happens third hand. If you are part of the conversation, technically you can attest to the fact that the conversation happened. Strictly speaking, though, you could be lying. I can see how in this particular court system, which is not really a genuine court system, anything said outside of the courtroom is considered hearsay because people lie in the courtroom, so it's assumed that people will lie about things that happen outside. I don't know. It's not as big of a stretch as I've seen them do on a lot of fucking legal bullshit, and this is just someone who doesn't know much about the law. Anyway, what were you What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting? I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock. That is perfectly understandable, my dear. This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute. I believe it for 2 minutes! But I'm guessing that this is what that the second statement is what I have to present on, and it might be time to present the fact that I've been keeping up my sleeve, which is no, that's no staff, that's a sword. And if she was actually looking to attack Maya, she would have just fatally stabbed instead of attacked with a blunt staff. But anyway, I'm not going to do that yet. Let's press all the buttons. So she moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. I mean, that's the other question, is why would... But strictly speaking, by the way, court as a whole doesn't know that Elise Dunim was Maya's mother. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. A dagger, huh? Why come we didn't find one? I mean, Iris knows a fuck ton more than she's supposed to. Which is where I'm assuming, like I said, you're spending the first part of this trial tripping up her testimony and either proving that she knows something she shouldn't, or proving that what she's saying is impossible. And Elise Dunim tried to stab her with this weapon. To kill Ms. Fey. Yes, exactly. ...
You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce.
How the fuck do you mistakenly take a swig of that?
You know, it's black.
Is it? I thought it was green.
No. What?
Oh,
No!
wasabi was what I was thinking of. Look, it's another sauce what starts with W.
Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy?
Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony? I'm guessing that this progresses the case, so I'm going to say no problem for right now. Iris is my client. I'd better not press her too hard yet. I have to press her later and get to her bottom. It's a cute bottom. The defense has no objection to Iris's testimony.
Huh. You should try some nice, sweet cafe con leche at least once, Trite.
Very well, let's continue with your testimony. What happened to Ms. Fey when she was attacked by the victim? Alright. Press. And then... Mystic Maya, she turned things around, and then she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike. I have several problems with this testimony. Witness, are you absolutely certain? Yes, but believe me, she had no choice. If Mystic Maya hadn't done something...
Maya Fey's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead.
Yes, I see. Pokey Delta, look, in my defense, I at least mistook it for a completely different sauce. Probably because I had sushi recently. Anyway. This is bad. I still can't put the pieces together. I can. Unless I find a contradiction in her testimony, Maya's going to get blamed for this. I only have this to say. Press. So you're saying Maya Fey was the one who stabbed Ms. Elise Dunim. Sister Iris, is that really what you saw? Yes.
Objection! Tisk, 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 Trite. If your mug is filled with black and bitter suspicions, the only way to get rid of them is to drink them down quick. Like this!
I was thinking he was going to throw it at me, but... Sure, I'm glad he didn't. I know that's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't get it.
There's only one thing you need to get, Trite. It's called evidence. Now hurry up, before my next cup gets cold.
What the hell does that mean? Is Godo waiting for me to point out the... Of course he is. He doesn't want to see Maya up Schitt's Creek. I'd like to avoid the whole spirit channeling thing if I can. Not only would it be inadmissible as evidence, I think that might actually hurt our standing with the judge. First, I need to pick her testimony apart and expose the unnatural-sounding parts. I don't know why Iris would tell a story like this, but there are two things I noticed that just don't add up. Two things, huh? Well, the two things that I noticed... Right, obviously, why would she attack with a dagger when the staff itself was a sword? And thing two would be, how did Elise Dunim get stabbed in the back if Maya was coming at her. Like, if Maya had just disarmed her and was stabbing from the front. So, alright. I think it's time. So I didn't press on this earlier with the Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. This is where I'm going to go and press further. Because, fucking Christ, her cane was a sword. And that's immediately provable because I fucking have the sword. Now, here's my question. How does Godo know that? Alright, she moved in to deliver a fatal strike, yes, yada yada yada, threw down her staff, reached into her robe for weapon, it was a dagger. Where the heck is the dagger? But alright. So we're gonna press further. So the other thing that I could do is I could also point out the fact that Elise Dunim is actually Misty Fey, and there's no reason for her to kill her daughter. But let's see what options open up to me. After I hit that there's, well, he only says that there's one thing, but there is one thing. There's actually two things. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. It's not so small, though. You do? But this witness is your own client. Yes, and she's admitting guilt, which is something I, the defense attorney, would not want. I'll take that instead of Phoenix's actual line.
That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony.
Okay, let's see where this goes.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that.
Listen, Gramps. I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me.
No? Because you're guilty of something, like, very, very, very least, you're incredibly clearly guilty of being an accomplice to murder yourself, but I actually suspect you're the actual murderer. Maybe not in self-defense, but certainly in defense of Maya Fey. Anyway, let's carry on. Or, more accurately, your line.
Okay. Now, let's continue.
Alright, so obviously press first, present later. Hold on, I missed something Pokey Delta said. Want to get additional dialogue of Godot's? Present Elise's profile on the second or third statement. I might not like Godot after. Interesting. But I'm going to press the button anyway, then I might present Elise's profile. She threw her staff away. Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon. It's true. It's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff. Ah! But it would be if the staff was a sword. Sister Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff. Oh. Have to do that before I present. Well, of course I would. Yes, that's what I saw. Do I get a penalty if I do that? Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright? ... Yeah, it's odd, all right. Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with the dagger. I'm sure of this. All right. LG, should I do this and make myself not like Godo?
I mean, I honestly don't see what about the resulting would significantly change your opinion on Godot.
All right. So Elise's profile. Objection! Elise Dunim would never have attacked Maya Fey. But how can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elise Dunim. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey? No. Not Misty Fey. Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to... Misty Fey is the master of the Kurain channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey. Are you serious? No, I'm me. Is it really true? Mr. Wright? Was Elise Dunim actually the great mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Okay. Order in the court. There's no doubt about it. This certainly is odd. I find it difficult to believe that a mother would try to kill her own daughter.
If it turns out I'm wrong about this, I'll quit my day job and open up a coffee house. Now, I'd like to believe that domestic violence cases like these never occur, but unfortunately, they're all too common. That's why people drink bitter coffee, you know?
You've brought to light a very interesting fact, Mr. Wright. But I must agree with the prosecution that domestic violence is not all that rare. You don't mean... Not untrue. Okay, fine. The fact that they were mother and daughter doesn't itself disprove the witness's claims. I think it would be best if we return to the testimony at hand. The fact that she just so nonchalantly went back to her smiling and calm expression. That something about that is off-putting to me. Because she was very rattled when I said that it was Mystic Misty Fey that she claimed was attacking, and now she's like, yeah, okay, fine, we're glossing over that fact. It seems like I've gotten away with murder yet again. Somehow. It looks like
Honestly, I think this entire sequence, it's mostly the same, but I think it makes a bit more sense if you wait until, if you don't present this and just go straight for the objection.
Fair enough. Yeah, something decidedly more conclusive than... I mean, I don't dislike Godo. He's not wrong. Unfortunately, the fact that she was Maya's mother doesn't preclude the possibility of wanting to kill her. Like, domestic violence is unfortunately a reality. Don't abuse the people in your life. Domestic violence is bad. I would like to make that very clear. Not that I suspect anybody here would do that, but...
Oh yes, no objections here.
Anyway, now I'm gonna go present the victim's staff, which was the other ace I had up my nose. Why it was up my nose? Because they're constantly checking my sleeves for aces these days, especially after I won against that blackjack robot last week.
I think you shouldn't put that staff up your nose.
Not the staff,
It
the
feels
ace.
dangerous. Well, yeah, but the staff is your ace. You said that yourself.
Well, I used the changing chopsticks.
If the ace is up your nose, the staff must be.
I used the changing chopsticks. Okay, Pokedelta, you may be right that 90% of domestic abusers are male. Very rare does not mean impossible. I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get the point.
That doesn't mean you should dismiss the possibility out of hand.
Right. I very rare does not mean not possible. And even in an American court system where it's reasonable doubt, it's still technically not beyond a reasonable doubt to assume that it's possible that a mother would attack her child. It's not a pleasant thought, but it's not an unreasonable one when you allegedly have an eyewitness testifying that they saw it, unless you can prove that witness is lying. Dismissing the notion out of hand just because it's unlikely or very rare, that would be irresponsible. Anyway, Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Huh? Ms. Dunim throwing... Well, we should just call her Misty Fey, but Ms. Dunim throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with the staff is hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but... brandishes the sword. The victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see by me taking out this weapon and pointing it around in a courtroom. Why haven't I been tackled by the bailiffs yet? It's a sword.
Sword cane!
If Elise Dunim really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Order in the court. Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, seeing Phoenix Wright with that sword in his hand, and knowing that he's allegedly the successor to Shelley D. Killer and wants to kill me makes me very nervous. Bailiffs, tackle the defense attorney. I continue to not be tackled. Anyway, however, in light of some facts that have just been presented... One, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable when taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Aha! More coffee.
Listen, there is nothing in this world that is impossible. Except for one little thing.
Yes, what is this one little impossible thing?
You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under-roasted? But you have no idea, Gramps.
Yeah, they're not only under-roasted, they're not roasted at all. Your brain has been... Your brain isn't even half-baked, it's unbaked. But yeah, could you just get to your point already? Like the point on this sword cane that I am continuing to wave around and not get tackled?
I heard this witness's confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee.
Okay. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. And he's just saying this now, when he knows, when he's literally witnessed firsthand how much coffee Kodo has had in court. Anyway, go on.
Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime.
He does love to investigate.
And he discovered this little beauty.
Is that the dagger that the witness testified to seeing? That
Obviously, you're...
complicates things.
Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else?
It's got ketchup on it. Now that you mention it, if you look closely, you don't need to... If even Godo can see it, and he can barely see red, you don't need to look closely to see that there's blood on that dagger. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. And I had
Did you investigate?
Go ahead.
Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene?
Yeah, I peed on it.
Well, this dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree.
What? I'm not seeing how that's physically possible. Also, what are they calling a pine tree? I don't see a pine tree in this picture. Just a bunch of bamboo and what kind of looks like a bonsai. Bonsai?
Don't be silly. There are no bonsais in California.
I don't think there are pine trees in LA.
I don't know enough about
There
America
are palm
to
trees,
that.
but not pine trees. But yeah, Astro Dude, it's not that he's incapable of seeing contrasting colors, but he's saying that it's a pine tree. Are bonsais pine trees? Or is it just them localizing because they don't expect us to know what a bonsai is?
I'm gonna guess it's another one of their localizations.
It just makes everything make... Okay, Your Honor, there was no pine tree here. Godo was pulling shit out of his ass again. Which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct?
Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning.
Yeah, so they haven't had
Just
time
as
to
I
get
had
the blood typed.
Just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee.
Your Honor, he's exaggerating again. I'm pretty sure he said either 6th or 8th earlier. We can't trust the thing he's saying. Also, Your Honor, I have a request. Check that blood for coffee. I'm pretty sure that's not actually blood. I'm pretty sure that's coffee. Though, if Godo was hurt in a struggle, where would the... Why is he... He doesn't look injured. Well, first of all, I'm making a huge logical leap there that it's Godo's blood on the dagger, but... See, no, Pokedelta, that's what you would think. But I'm saying that the caffeine in his blood actually...
is caffeine.
I'm actually saying that the amount of caffeine in his blood is what saved his life when Dahlia tried to poison him. Because it got the poison through his system fast enough before it did fatal damage. Okay, so it's not actually a particular species of tree. But that is not, like, okay, I will tell you that is not a pine tree that we see.
Yeah.
There is no pine tree in that crime scene whatsoever. And there are no pine trees, to my knowledge, in specifically Los Angeles. Anyway. Yeah, see? Phoenix said, didn't you say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago?
I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice.
In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. The defense requests that we take that knife and analyze the blood immediately. We can continue with other proceedings while they're doing that. But if we're going to have a piece of evidence, we have to have it analyzed to its fullest to see how relevant it is to the case and what new facts that it brings.
Do you have that little faith in the judge?
Yes. Considering the fact that in the final case of Ace Attorney 2, we got a fucking videotape as evidence, and the judge dismissed it because it was a fucking videotape, not because of what might be on the videotape. Like, no, this videotape itself is not evidence, it's what's on the videotape that's what's evidence. You ginormous idiot. No, I have done neither, Astro Dude. I am playing this, well, not literally blind, because nobody redeemed lose the glasses, but I am playing this without having played Ace Attorney before, not knowing what's coming. But I think I've got a good handle on what this game's bullshit is at this point. Furthermore, I ordered that... Okay, good. It was literally his next line. Fine, but I was right to have no faith in him. You can't say that I wasn't right to have no faith in him. Furthermore,
No, you were completely justified.
I ordered that a blood test be performed on it immediately. Why do I think Godo knew about the cane sword or is injured? I mean, I think Godo knew about the cane sword because of a specific line that they said about Godo wanting Phoenix or waiting for Phoenix to point out the contradiction in Iris's testimony. Well, quote-unquote Iris. I still maintain that this is Dahlia. But why do I think Godo is injured? I don't know, but for some reason my mind immediately jumped to, well, who the fuck would have used that dagger? Because Elise Dunim wouldn't have. But okay.
I do actually discuss this in the version where you present the cane sword first. They went because they're trying to prompt you to present both pieces of evidence. They do say that well, the sword is very long and wieldy, so in a close quarters confrontation, a dagger might be more practical.
I suppose? But again, so just... I mean, what Pokey Delta basically says, technically if I'm right about anything...
I've been here. I know how you work.
Well, Astro Dude doesn't seem to. So strictly speaking, if I happen to get anything right, it's because I basically took a handful of darts and just launched them in the general direction of the target. If one or two of them happen to land on the bullseye, although I've been pretty fucking good this case so far, if I say so myself.
Yeah, but also, yes, you are very good at catching the subtle implications in the dialogue.
As a professional...
You caught Godot as Diego instantly.
Yes, but I will also say, as a professional punster, my comprehension of the English language is probably on a level that is beyond a lot of other people's capability. Like, I'm not saying that other people are stupid, it's just because I'm always looking for an angle to make a pun, I maybe pay a little closer attention to what people are saying, which is odd because I very rarely pay attention to what I'm saying. But I'm not going to make a pun off of what I'm saying, but... Oh, come on, Midori. I'm not saying that other people are stupid. I'm just saying my brain works differently when it comes to languages. Or when it comes to specifically focusing on language. English in particular, but I can make a couple of multilingual puns. I'll tell you what, Midori. I'm gonna take a quick break, and LG can catch you up on what's been going on here in my absence. If you are able to join VC, that's probably gonna go a little quicker than him. But whatever. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. I need to take a quick break anyway. I require more ginger tea, both so that my lungs don't implode, and so that my digestive system doesn't implode. I will be right back. LG, catch Midori and Astro Dude up as to what the fuck is going on here, and how my brain works, if you can. That latter one is a bit of a tall order.
You expect me to comprehend that?
Okay, how my brain has been working in this case in particular.
Yeah, but basically it's exactly what he said. He will catch, like, the slightest bit of an implication in some of the text, and just throw out whatever crazy idea pops into his head, and follows that train to its natural conclusion. And sometimes, he's even right. You are correct. Ace Attorney logic does tend to be very wacky. But there does at least tend to be enough sort of little things that you can sort of pull it out through a coherent logic from it. Oh yeah, that's... Yeah. No, I can't argue with that one. That just... Yeah. I mean, remember that he didn't even see that the unwieldy comment, and he was already thinking, oh, Godot is probably... He already thinks that Godot did it. He's just branching out the logic to anything. Well, if Godot did it and he was in a struggle, he probably got injured, so maybe that's his blood on it. Who knows?
All right. I'm back. Has everyone been caught up?
Mostly, decently well.
Okay, good. So, I will point out, like I was saying a little bit earlier, that I noticed people's statements and what, like, I'm very observant when it comes to what people are saying and things like that. I am apparently not very observant when it comes to looking at my microwave clock. LG, you'll recall that right before the stream I was wondering if we had lost power at any point today, because I came back from work and my laptop had done something that it really should not have. Like, it half shut itself down.
I do recall you saying that.
And I was hoping that we had lost power. Like, if I had paid slightly closer attention to the microwave clock, which I used as a timer while making my dinner, I would have noticed that, yes, in fact, we did lose power.
Yeah, that's generally a good way of noticing.
To be fair, the other clock in the room, which is the one on my wife's coffee maker, was fine. And I was kind of bustling around a bit because I was running late while making dinner and getting home and all of that stuff. So, good news. My laptop's probably not as dead as I suspected it might be. Anyway, hi, Normans. But alright, furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately.
This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right.
Okay. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Dagger added to the court record and immediately removed because the bailiff took it. Found behind a tree... See, I noticed they specifically say tree, not pine tree here, because there was no pine tree there! In the inner temple garden, the blood is being analyzed now. Excellent. But it's not going to be... Like, if I had to guess, and again, it's because I'm so used to the bullshit, or I like to think I'm so used to the bullshit in this game right now, that's not going to be Misty's blood or Maya's blood. It's going to be some third party's blood. And I know Godot was there because he clearly cleaned up the crime scene. And Pearls was completely uninjured and didn't mention anything about a knife or being attacked. So the 4 people that I know were there were Misty, who was channeling Dahlia, Maya, Godot, and Pearl. So if I had to guess, that's Godot's blood, and he might have just sealed his own fate, which would be kind of funny. Anyway, now then. The testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible.
Cute girls never lie. Ever.
You fully know that to be false. Especially if it's a girl who looks like this that you're saying that about. Because, okay, one could argue cuteness is objective. Sorry, cuteness is subjective. But in this case, it's the same fucking girl that you know is a liar.
Well, no, that was Dahlia.
Or
This is Iris.
physically identical. So when it comes to something like cuteness, whatever.
Cuteness has a lot to do with personality as well as appearance.
It can, but also no. I mean, I'm gonna tell you my wife is cute both because of how she looks and because of the things she does and her personality. But at its absolute most superficial, cuteness is external. Anyway, enough about this point. I want to actually try to finish this in maybe 3 streams, and I'm not going to at this rate. In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court. About what, Your Honor? About the incident you saw, the battle between the 2 women. Yes, Your Honor. The battle! Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack. Okay, I don't know why we're continuing to call Mystic Elise, because regardless of anything, by this point, we know that it's Misty.
Force of habit.
Probably. Anyway, then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back... Okay, yeah, no, she was stabbed in the back. So this is impossible again. With her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. No, impossible because she was stabbed in the back. Alright, court record. Autopsy report. Cause loss of blood from stab in back. Oh good, Maximilian Galactica, thank you for the follow. Man, oh man. Everybody's coming back for the final case of Game 3. Anyway, oh shit. LG, were you marinating me earlier when you said that autopsy reports never lie? Is Godo about to update an autopsy report?
I have not read ahead more than like 2 or 3 lines at any... More than about a screen's worth at any given time. I am mostly blind as to how this goes.
Fair enough. Alright, that was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since... See, now she's calling her Mystic Misty. Hello, KR. It had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. That seems reasonable. I think I mentioned that too, yes. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. So I know what I have to do here, present autopsy report, because there's no way she could have been stabbed in the back if her back was up against the stone lantern. If you remove the beard off the judge, he looks like the assassin hitman, Agent 47. I don't get that reference. I also don't want to think about the judge without the big bushy beard. Although, to be
probably
fair...
would.
Hmm?
He probably would look like 47, and now I can't unsee it.
I mean, I can sort of imagine what his face would look like without the beard. I don't know who Agent 47 is, so... Also looks like Sagat. Eh. Alright, on with it. I mean, technically, so does Shelley D. Killer, but such is life. But anyway, like I said, I know what I have to do here. I've got to press and... or not press. I've got to present the autopsy report when she said... But as is my way, I will press on everything when I'm not penalized for it. So, this is obviously why I never get any shit done. Press the buttons! Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this? What do you mean? Well, if either of them had noticed you, have I seen the... I have not seen the Ace Attorney anime. Like I said earlier, I am playing this game blind. I've never played Ace Attorney 3 before, I've never watched the anime before. I don't know what is going to happen. I love some of the breakdown animations we've had in these games, if that's what you're referring to. But only in the games and only what I've seen so far. Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle. I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them... Oh, but the lanterns were lit! We know that the lanterns were lit. It was dark where the two of them were,
No, I'm pretty sure last time they said that they don't light the lanterns.
Yes, but the lanterns... I mean, they said that, but they also said that because it was weird that they had been lit.
Oh.
I think that's why they didn't see me. So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Ms. Maya Fey do after she was struck? Again, press the weapon, press the button. Yeah, press the weapon. The weapon is a big red button. What happened to the victim's staff then? I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated. That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger. Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. Then there would probably be scuff marks on the dagger? Or the dagger would be bent or broken. And then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up somehow without Elise, or Misty, who was still bigger than she was. Not physically, because Maya was still unarmed. Even if the dagger had been dropped, she still could have, tackled her to the ground or something and then tried to go for I don't know. None of this is making any sense. Nothing sounds especially strange yet. What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her? Okay, press. You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim? Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger. I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point, Just silly, yeah. Little goblins will only stab you in the shins, not the back.
As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal.
Yeah, but a cornered goblin is still a goblin. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Makes sense to me. ...
Your animal analogies have grown tiresome.
You started it! And I didn't know Phoenix was going to say that. Anyway, so after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next? Press. Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw? ... Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost? The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who. The fuck? What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely.
Objection!
Objection! We know that Maya Fey was at the Inner Temple that night, and that the woman who was killed was Elise Donem. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who?
Not in the slightest?
It's obvious.
There were at least two other people. Well, three if Iris is to be believed. Well, three if quote-unquote Iris is to be believed. There were at least three other people on that side of the mountain at the time. One is Iris, who's admitting she was there. Two is Pearl, because we found her there, but she's teeny tiny and innocent of any kind of murder. And three is you, Godo. Care to explain what you were doing there? I see.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I spaced. What's happening?
I'm saying that you were on that side of the mountain, and what is your explanation for that?
Was that established?
Technically, no, but I'm 20 steps ahead as usual. Anyway, well then.
Right. You think that the snow thing, right?
And missing the blatantly obvious Maya in red blood on white stone lantern.
I still don't think it's there. I think you're making that up.
Judge confirm. Yeah, no, he's telling the truth. There is very obviously Maya written in red blood on this white stone lantern.
So now you've even got the judge convinced by your lies, right?
Iris, you can also confirm.
That's bad.
Yeah, no, there's Maya written in red blood over there.
Well, clearly the problem can't be me.
Court, everybody in the court, tell Godo that Maya there is written in red blood on the stone lantern. Yeah, you idiot! Why can't you see that there's red blood written there on the stone lantern?
I must say, Trite, it's truly impressive how many people you've gotten on board with this gaslighting campaign.
I can also get Gumshoe in on it. Hell, I'll even bring back people from previous cases if I have to. Anyway. Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. And Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground. So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh? Yes. Oh! Oh. So, like, it's not actually added to the testimony that she was stabbed in the stomach, but that's just a conclusion we were supposed to... Uh-huh. Okay, so I was correct about what I have to do and where I have to do it, but let's press. Again, because press all the buttons. Where did that dagger go? I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle.
That is the most likely explanation, yes, or at least it would be if there was a pine tree in that garden. Godo, get your eyes checked. That's like 5 things you haven't been able to see. After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away? ... Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. And Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch. What? It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over. It seems like a reasonable story at first. But there's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone. Well, fatally. Like I say, little goblins stab all the time. I generally have knives in my shins fairly frequently. But that's done out of affection, because I'm pretty sure that's how some little goblins know how to show affection. I miss Dawning. That alone is impossible.
I hope she gets better.
She did stream on Bulba Garden Saturday night. I think she's got... Well, right now I think she... Well, first of all, she actually got sick for a little while, not just a migraine.
Oof.
But she's also got some of the same shit that's causing me problems right now, too. Namely, we're getting bad air from Canada being on fire. So that's no good for my lungs, and that's also no good for her.
Yeah.
Always snowy, always wrong. And proud of it. Anyway, this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. Ah, you have a present, LJ. 2 presents. Now let me guess, here comes the third.
Yeah, let's get them out the way. Alright, it looks like we're settling on 3.
He usually does in batches of 3. What do we got?
Alright, well, let's do the upside down no glasses combo platter.
Alright.
And you will recite it in German.
I see. Slightly more subdued German than usual, I will point out.
Very well.
Lest I barf or burn my lungs out. No, Pokey Delta, no! Cease! Oh, did I tell you, LG, I revived the Wheel of Pain for my Crystal LP.
Ooh, no, you didn't.
Well, I did. Alright. Where were we? I think I already read this series of squiggles. Yeah, because it's got the red for contradiction. I believe we are starting the testimony over again. So, let us proceed. The problem is, I cannot tell which one I need to present on, because I cannot actually read what any of these say. I believe it was statement number 4.
One,
Yes, this is where the picture
3.
changes, so it must be. Because if I remember correctly, this is what is showing that Mystic Maya would have had to stab through the stomach. So this must be where I have to present. That is the R button, I believe. Now the question is, will I be able to find the autopsy report? This is my attorney's badge. This is the number 6 instead of the number 9, which is very weird because in German all numbers are 9, 9, 9, 9, I say. I believe this is occult. I do not remember what this is. This is a gravy tapestry. This is something picture. This is a hood. Is this This is not a picture, so I assume this is the weather data. This is a green and red squiggle, so I assume it is the Shito. This kinda looks silver and brown, so I assume this is the sword cane. These are 2 more pictures. I'm guessing it is this envelope. Assuming this is an envelope. This is that horrible picture. I can recognize it even without my glasses and upside down because Larry is that big of a farfel muncher. This is the orb from the victim's staff. This is what verifies her as the master of Kurain. This is a burnt letter, and this is a pencil of some sort. I think. What is a pencil doing in my court record? LG, why is there a pencil in my court record? Who puts that there?
Well, how else are you going to write your notes?
I do not need the pencil in my court record for that. I need it in my hand. What kind of stupid farfel munchers have been running this court in my absence? Very well, I believe this is the autopsy report, so I shall present it. Objection! I do not know what my objection is. I have to lean into my computer to see it. Something about something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Huh? What are you talking about, you stupid farfel muncher? This is also a very appropriate voice to be coming from someone like Iris. Until now, I didn't think you was a type to make such a careless mistake. By the way, LG, I am standing up and I am leaning very, very close to my computer screen right now. This is not good for my posture.
Oh, it almost certainly is not.
Anyway, however, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What is so wrong about my testimony, you stupid farfel muncher? According to you, Maya Fey stabs the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern. Is this correct? Yes, that is right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, correct? Also, this is where I'm suspecting Godot might update the autopsy report, because they'd probably want to get that shit done at least one more time before the trilogy ends. Anyway. Yes, I think so. But, according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This is not good. 99999. This is not good. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris. It appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony. These plant analogies are not good for me. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? Oh, was that another coffee? I think that was another coffee. Was that another coffee, LG?
Yes, that was another coffee.
Okay, I did not actually see anything more than just something that looked like it was moving and a Mr. Godot. I will put my glasses on and I will update the count. Good lord, my glasses are smudged as hell. Why are my glasses so damn smudged? Alright, back off they go. Although, I think it might have been 5 minutes. Who knows? I can't see the damn clock when I take my glasses off. Huh? Oh wait, that's your line.
Huh. It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and a back. You get my drift?
9? I do not understand what you are trying to say, you stupid farfel muncher. Stop speaking in riddles. Is that all you have to say?
I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind.
Objection! I'm going to have to stand up again to read this stupid nonsense. Or move my computer screen closer. Hang on, let's see if this breaks everything. Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical... Illogical? See, yes, illogical metaphors already. The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff. The people fighting being mother and daughter. And now she falsely claims that the victim was stabbed in the stomach. There certainly are some inconsistencies.
Oh, by the way, I am pretty sure you can flip them by now.
That makes perfect
sense. You can
sense.
flip back, put your glasses on.
Alright, we're good. Everything is back. Well, everything will soon be back to normal. And nobody can do anything about that. Alright, well, Iris, how about it? ... Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing.
So you are going to update the autopsy report? What do you mean?
There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. But to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all of the senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said?
No, I was concentrating on her boobs. I mean, what? Yeah, Prosecutor Godo, explain yourself. Phoenix, we're just gonna ignore what you just said.
The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly.
Yeah, that makes a certain degree of sense.
A human needs one thing to see clearly.
Eyeballs!
And that is... Okay, a human needs two things to see clearly.
Eyeballs! There are two of them!
And okay, a human needs three things to see clearly.
Glasses!
Two of them are eyeballs, only if your eyeballs don't work properly. Two eyeballs and light.
And glasses!
You need glasses.
You have no evidence of this. Phoenix has never worn glasses a day in his life. On the other hand, I feel like if I take that visor away from you, you won't be able to see.
Ah, but this is not glasses.
Of a sort! Anyway, light.
By the way, did you know Hazakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is training at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit.
That is the exact opposite of what they said last time!
The stone lantern must be kept lit. The small lanterns must be turned off.
I'm so fucking... I mean, either way, there was light.
There was light.
Okay. I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly?
Normally, yes, Your Honor. But, according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern.
So how were the other lanterns lit? I'm so confused. Why was it impossible?
It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In
So
other
get
words,
John Wick to replace the wick.
In other words, it had to be nearly pitch black in the garden that night.
There were other torches.
There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all.
Most enlightening. Aha!
Yes. That illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away.
Not really?
If the staff would drop, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak.
I mean, it still
Isn't
doesn't
that
explain
right?
why they attacked each other in the first place. Like, okay, when you're at Hazakura Temple, and you run into someone in the middle of the night at the temple, your first instinct shouldn't be, must kill. Your first instinct should be, okay, this is probably just someone who works here or an acolyte who came to training, especially when you just had dinner with everyone who was in that fucking temple. Anyway. No, that's not true. Order.
Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence.
You mean the stone lantern with the
Maybe
big Maya
it will
in red
rekindle-
on it?
Maybe it will rekindle the flame of truth in your mind.
A lantern from the inner temple garden was not lit the night of the crime. Okay, if he's going to present that, then let me also present the smaller lanterns that were around the garden that were lit recently. I know why the judge is just sitting there with that look on his face.
What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot?
This lantern? There's see now the judge really is in on it. There's something written on it. ...
Question mark?
Why, it's written in blood. And at this point, Kodo is like, "Damn it, I fucked up, didn't I?" Oh boy. I mean, there's only one person who wouldn't notice that, Phoenix. So the judge didn't know about that yet.
Written in blood? ...
It says Maya upside down.
Duh.
Oh yes, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing on that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body. It certainly looks that way.
Objection! Hang on! Hang on just a minute! What are you all talking about?
What do you mean, what are we all talking about? You submitted this piece of evidence. We're talking about the message written in blood, you dope. I've told you about this like 20 times before. Everybody in the courtroom told you about it.
Nonsense! This lantern, it's clean as a whistle!
Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Okay, here's another thing. If Godo was so damn careful about the snow because he couldn't see the blood splatter in the snow, he knows he can't see the red. You'd think he would have I mean, maybe he didn't have a... Well, no, he had a fuck ton of time. Because we weren't able to get there for like a day after the incident. He had plenty of time to fucking clean the pillar to the stone lantern too. Knowing that he wouldn't be able to see blood on it, he should have been, like, if he was going to be careful, he should have been more careful than that. But yeah, no, Phoenix must have forgotten about the ketchup, yeah. Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
So that's what he meant by that. In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern, which means she recognized who it was she was attacking. Well, Mr. Godo, anything further?
Dot, dot, dot.
Mr. Godo?
Dot, dot, dot. Exclamation? Okay then. Let's move on.
Godo is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. I'm pretty sure that's impossible for him. I believe it has now been established that Misty Nim was killed by Misty Fey. That's just wrong.
Now, it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears.
Sister Iris's cover-up.
After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Kurain tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and... I used the Shichishito to alter the way the wound looked.
See, that is kind of where I thought they were going to go with the autopsy. Not necessarily update the autopsy report, but suggest that tampering with the wound with the Shichishito would have changed how it looked and made it look like she was stabbed in the back, but because there were multiple swords or multiple blades that went through her, it was, strictly speaking, not possible to determine if she was killed from a knife wound to the back or the front. So not technically updating the autopsy report, but putting the autopsy report into question because we know that part of the scene had been staged. Anyway, so you moved the body.
Yes, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fey clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise Dunim was actually Misty Fey. I've committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for twist of fate, Your Honor.
I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but...
You were spotted by the head nun, correct?
Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, other than disputing the fact that she could have hauled that thing across the bridge by herself, this may be where the weather and the fact that the bridge was on fire comes into play. But again, strictly speaking, what I said earlier would mean that she technically would have been able to make it. Ooh, the snowmobile tracks. When the snowmobile returned to the temple was after it stopped snowing, which was while the bridge was still on fire? I need to check the weather data basically as soon as I get a chance. But okay, Sister Iris's cover up. Press button. But before I do that, check court record. Weather data. Snow until 10:50. Lightning struck bridge at 10:45. 30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out. So 10:45 to 11:15, bridge was on fire. Snow went until 10:50, which was 5 minutes after bridge had been struck by lightning. Snowmobile tracks prove that when whoever was riding the snowmobile back was riding the snowmobile back, it had stopped snowing. So it must have been at least 10:50. One could argue that she had just managed to get to the other side of Dusky Bridge around 10:45 or so. Maybe a little bit before that. And it might take some time to position a dead body on a snowmobile. And when she saw, like, she barely finished crossing the bridge, and it got struck by lightning. So between being awed by the fact that the bridge had been struck by lightning and positioning the body, it could have been 5 minutes or so between when she got off the bridge and when she started going back to the temple. 5 minutes is not a long amount of time, unless one has his game upside down and is not wearing his glasses and needs to speak in a stupid German accent. But I do think that the weather data is going to be what's important here. That combined with the tracks on the ground. Anyway, so you waited until everything was over before making a move. No, it's not like that.
Objection! She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid.
Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion. Isn't it your job as the judge to mediate the argument?
It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done.
Press? So then, you knew, because Bikini sure as hell didn't. You knew the significance of the name Maya Fey.
Yes, of course I did.
No, Bikini didn't.
That's odd.
I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position.
Anyway, she was a very special person indeed.
Press? Why did you do that?
Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene.
You moved her body all by yourself?
Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if... It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow.
I mean, doesn't the snow prove otherwise? Because there would have been signs of dragging a body through the snow? Actually, yeah, this. Dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. There should have been tracks in the snow of you doing that. I'm a dingus. The question is, I mean, this seems like something I should just be able to press, and it progresses the story. Because I don't think... Do I have... Okay, yeah. I do have a picture of the... crime photo, right? No! That's a picture of that, not a picture of that. So I don't actually have a picture of, not the courtyard, the garden where Elise was killed.
You do not.
But there were no ruts in the ground or in the snow that showed a dead body or anything being dragged away from there.
Oh, but what a shame that you cannot prove it.
So I just have to press. Hold it! It's pretty amazing you could make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge. It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age.
It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold.
I disagree. Phoenix caught a cold. And he's stupid. But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? Dot, dot, dot. It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple. I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as... Dumping it in the river would have gotten it even further away. And...
Well, yes, but that still would have looked like a dump job. This makes it look like the murder happened somewhere else entirely.
Yes and no. Like, the body would have gone further. And then presumably, like, Maya allegedly seemed to realize what she did. So presumably Maya would go about cleaning up evidence from the... Like, I don't know. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible. Your line.
Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being, anyway. What'd you do after you crossed the bridge?
Used the snowmobile, carry it back to Hazakura Temple. Hold it! The snowmobile. I knew that would show up sooner or later. That's why we fucking called Larry Butts to the stand, like, 5 months ago. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. This is the part that was in question the other day, yes. Should I ask for more details? Ask about the snowmobile, because I think this is the irrelevant part. I think the tracks are the important part, right, LG?
Maybe?
Let me hear more about this snowmobile ride. Well, it was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge.
Objection! I'm sorry, witness, but now I've got a problem with your testimony.
Excuse me? Godo? Oh, did I accidentally progress the story? God damn it.
Maybe!
I didn't mean to, that's why I was asking if it was the tracks or the snowmobile that was important.
I didn't know!
Godo, what are you up to now?
That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple.
Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates. Oh yeah, that's also true. She didn't see it when she crossed back earlier.
Let's recall her comments on the subject. Maybe, but When I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say?
Exclamation mark?
Order! Mr. Godo? Why are you pointing out contradictions in the witness's testimony? Because he knows he done fucked up and is actually implicating Maya for murder.
Let's just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay?
Unlike that lantern.
Well, maybe...
That's a Dahlia expression.
Sister Bikini missed it. Yes, maybe she didn't see it.
Dude looks like he would have a red mobile suit and a gun. I've never watched Gundam, which might surprise people. I want to say the only... Okay, no, there are two mecha animes, or two mech animes, that I've ever watched. Gurren Lagann is one, which anybody who knows me knows because Yoko is second favorite fictional redhead. The second anime, mech anime that I was called Big O. And no, that's not actually a euphemism for anything. It's just called Big O because that's the name of the mech. I don't know why that's the name of the mech, but that's the name of the mech. And honestly, the main reason that I started watching it is because I stumbled across its opening theme song, which is heavily based on Queen. Specifically Bohemian Rhapsody. No, not Bohemian Rhapsody. There's a little bit of Bohemian Rhapsody in there, but it's mostly like Flash Gordon. So it's Queen meets Japanese anime is the opening, and it's if you haven't seen the full opening theme to Big O, watch it. It's
Oh, alright, I suppose I'll put it on my list of things to watch.
Well, I know you're not watching my Shadows Over Loathing VODs for very good reason. This is significantly shorter.
No. Yeah, I'm not.
For those who don't know, LG decided he's going to play that game now, and I don't blame him. It's a good one.
Yeah, it looked fun, so I just stopped watching the VODs and started playing myself.
Completely understandable. You don't want me to spoil things for you, but means you probably will make mistakes like I did in my first playthrough.
Ah, well, anything I miss, I'm sure that you'll find for me.
Oh, I don't know about that because I still, it took me a while to get as competent as I am at West of Loathing, and there were still shit that I hadn't done before in that game. But it's very good. And it's, again, the major point being it's significantly shorter than any of my VODs. So, yeah, no, I like it. Also has technically another redhead in it. I think R. Dorothy Wainwright is both a redhead and an android. And if AI Sada taught you anything... Well, if AI Sada taught my audience anything, it's that I don't see that as a minus. All right. Sister Bikini missed it. Yes, maybe she didn't see it. Got Island of Armor and Crown Tundra. Well, Crown Tundra's worth it. Sort of. Something to do until Z-A. I am not playing... Well, okay, outside of what I stream for Bulba Garden, I'm not playing any Pokemon games at the moment. I will say I did manage to get my crystal team up to level 25 yesterday after my stream. So it's very good. I got my grinding done. You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right.
Huh, whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just, you better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A very smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that.
Speaking of cookies, did I tell you my wife surprised me with cookies when I came home on Friday?
You didn't!
Yes. There were cookies waiting for me. Peanut butter cookies. Delicious peanut butter cookies. I think she missed me.
Ah, that sounds good.
I think she missed me for some reason. Anyway, Snowy, I don't know what Pokemon is. I suspect the Vulpix part of your name might know, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Yes, sir. What was that all about? Why would Godo want to give me a hint? Very well, then, let's continue with the testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile, all the way to Hazakura Temple Courtyard. Yes, I thought that way Mystic Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought, anyway, and then Alright, press again. Is that what you were doing when Sister Bikini saw you? Yes, that's right. She probably thought the worst. Probably? More like definitely. Although you weren't here for the testimony yesterday, so you wouldn't know. Again, because that's not Iris, that's
no,
Dahlia.
Well, yeah, okay.
I knew you were gonna object to that. But no, like, she actually wasn't here because I'm still convinced that's Dahlia. I see. So Sister Bikini mistakenly thought you were the one that murdered Ms. Dunin. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's my fault that this case has gotten so confusing. Iris needs a hug, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, probably.
Because she's probably freezing because she's in that cave on Hazakura Temple. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she do that? There's only one reason I can think of. Phoenix, you can think? Alright. So, gotta continue along the snowmobile route. And tracks.
Yeah.
I did kind of figure that the tracks were gonna be what was most important. Alright. If you really did When is Pokemon? October something or another, if memory serves. I'm really not paying attention because I have zero inclination to play Legend Z-A. And nobody will make me do that. Nobody. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple. I see. Snow was still falling, huh?
And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped.
Oh yeah! Weather! Bridge on fire!
That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony? It's incredibly important.
When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped?
That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony so that I can press on it before doing what I'm actually supposed to do. But does it have something to do with the case? All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record.
Huh. This should be fun.
It always is.
Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yeah, snow business. No business like snow business.
Yes, sir.
Guess what I'm gonna do? Press the button.
There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true? Yes, I am. When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear.
Makes perfect sense to me.
That's right. I'm certain of it. I think I've trapped her this time.
I see how you think. Snow, huh?
God, I hope you don't see how I think. What is going on here?
If the snow really had stopped by the time of the murder,
I mean, there's a bigger hole in her story than that movie, The Grid Revelations.
Someone on the localization team had a fucking grudge.
Oh, what?
They fucking threw the Matrix under the bus, and I don't know why. I haven't watched that one. But they just bring it up out of nowhere.
Is that... Well, hold on. I mean, first of all, it's yet another early 2000s reference. Is that the last one, or is that the middle one? I think that's the last one, right? Because it's The Matrix Reloaded, then the Matrix Revelations.
Yeah.
To be fair, yeah, there's a pretty big fucking hole in that movie. Actually, I'm pretty sure there's lots of big holes in that movie. The biggest one to me, and I guess this was just Smith being... That's what I think, KR. Because again, I think it was original Matrix, which, by the way, was a perfectly good standalone movie by itself. And then it kind of just all went downhill from there. Don't get me wrong, I loved watching the action and the combat in Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions. Or Revelations, I don't even remember. But one of the big plot holes that sticks out to me is... I'm still not 100% sure how the Oracle managed to fool Smith in the first place, but I'm also not sure why the fuck Smith, who had billions of copies of himself, just chose to attack Neo with one of himself. That makes no sense, and it never has.
If you say so.
I don't know, it's been a while since like I said, I loved watching the action scenes, I loved watching the fight, but like, that doesn't mean the plot makes sense. And like I said, The Matrix, the original one, near flawless of a movie. Okay, maybe not, but still a fantastic movie, the original Matrix. And it would have worked well on as a standalone. But of course, when something makes money, you gotta make more of it. And unlike Star Wars, which could have also functioned as a standalone movie, not all sequels will surpass the originals. Empire does.
Oh, God.
But Matrix Reloaded versus the original Matrix? Oh my god, no. Alright, enough about this. But you're not wrong. Like, it is just someone in the localization team had an axe to grind against this movie in particular. I get it. I kind of get why, but like, Jesus fuck, dude, calm down.
Well then, Mr. Trite, perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us. Let's see what's up your sleeve. Or rather, at the end of your index.
See, I told you they were always checking up my sleeves for stuff, but never up my nose. That's why I keep all my aces up my nose now. ... question mark? I don't want to believe it. Okay, yeah. So we're back here. And I'm still not sure what reason Phoenix is... Maybe he's finally cottoned on to the fact that this isn't Iris. Maybe. Anyway, time to present the weather report. Another ace up my nose. Your Honor, that statement... Did I present on the wrong thing?
Which one did you present on?
I thought I presented on the weather report, or on her last statement.
Oh, yeah, if you did, then that's wrong.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why well, I guess because your objection is not to that specific statement. Technically. You want to object to her dragging up behind her across Dusky Bridge.
What? I mean, okay, technically I sort of get it, but still.
Yeah, it does feel like the sort of thing that you should be able to object to on both sides.
Either one, yeah. Because it's specifically this statement that I can prove disproves the rest of her testimony because of it.
Yeah.
That's bullshit of the highest caliber. Like, okay, I get what you're saying. I do. But, like, it should have been an either-or statement. Or an either statement that you could have... So, okay, fine. But that makes absolutely no fucking sense. Because, again, this statement in isolation, there's no way to prove that she couldn't have done it. It's specifically the fact that this statement combined with the final statement. But fine, whatever. Fuck everything. You claim that... And again, the fact that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred is the crucial fact here, so it should have worked when presented on either of those statements. This isn't a me wants to kill Noodleman, by the way. This is a me wants to kill the Ace Attorney game. Alright. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time. Well, why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. I mean, I also said that earlier too, Pokey Delta. I specifically asked the question of where were the body, where were the marks in the snow of the body dragged away? Did I not ask that very question, LG?
You did ask that very question.
All right. What did you say? How? Dahlia wouldn't know that the bridge had caught on fire? Okay, Dahlia wouldn't have known when the bridge had caught on fire if she was locked in the cave at the time. Iris would have known when the bridge caught on fire. Dahlia wouldn't have. Dahlia would have known something happened to the bridge because she would have seen it when crossing back with the police to get to the courtroom, right? Obviously, there was some kind of fix in place because the bridge seemed to have burned down. But she wouldn't have known when that happened. Okay, so what did you say? The bridge, it was on fire? You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. Unfortunately for everybody, I'm not a defense attorney, I'm a Noodleman. No. Order. The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside of the world. I mean, the last time Dahlia had seen the bridge was when she killed Valerie. But it at least had some planks of wood at the time. And I'm assuming that based on what I saw of how Gumshoe fixed the bridge, it really doesn't look like one could have dragged a body across that bridge the way Gumshoe had fixed it, because it is only meant to be a temporary fix. Anyway, that's right. The inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed that bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Objection!
Aha!
Objection! The only person here that is truly contemptible is you, old man!
Me? How dare you? I'm gonna find you in contempt of court now, because this is literally contempt of court.
Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now.
It actually kind of does, but go on. Squat? Now I'm thinking about the witness doing squats and, well, shit, I'm distracted. Good job, Godo.
The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right?
No, I'm sorry. I'm still distracted by by imagining the witness doing squats. What were we saying? You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to agree.
Whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Dunim was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard.
Correct.
And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desiccating Elise Dunim's body.
Desiccating? Desecrating.
I said what I said.
Also, Pokey Delta, by that logic, Lost is Edgeworth and Franziska also need to be disbarred. Lost is Edgeworth.
By that logic, I don't think anyone who's ever been in this courtroom should be allowed back in.
I don't actually think Phoenix has technically done anything illegal. He's bluffed a fuck ton, sure. But, like, outright done anything illegal? No. Other than if you accept my canon that he was the one who shoved a bullet in Manfred von Karma's shoulder. But I've given that up as canon at this point. But Lost as Edgeworth literally blackmailed a witness into giving up her constitutional right to plead the Fifth, which is a disbarral and criminal offense. Franziska's got the whole whipping thing, which that's literally assault. And Godo's got contempt for fucking everybody. So yes, contempt of court falls under that. But yeah, he just doesn't give a shit anymore. ... exclamation mark. He makes a good point. On both accounts. That's right. I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself. Oh, you really weren't yourself, were you, Iris? You were Dahlia, and you still are Dahlia. So my memory is still somewhat hazy. Objection! You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us that you don't actually fucking remember what happened? Oh hey,
Objection!
That's kind of what Phoenix says.
It is only human to err. If you're so perfect, Trite, maybe you could explain this for the court?
Sure. What do you want me to explain? I bet you I've already figured it out.
When the murder happened, the bridge had already burned down. But somehow, the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard.
Yep.
Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick.
I do, in fact. It's called Larry's drawing. That fucker viewed everything upside down, so he wasn't seeing Iris flying over the bridge from Hazakura Temple to the Inner Temple. He was seeing Elise Dunim being swung from the Inner Temple to Hazakura Temple. That explain the magic trick to you, Godot?
Perhaps.
Okay, unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. Bullshit, it's not gonna let me do that? Anyway, it looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. Yes, I am! It's called this horrible, horrible drawing. It's literally a horrible sketch. I still... Like, the one thing that Phoenix and losses Edgeworth have in common is they both have this description, the exact same, and it's true. It is a horrible sketch. But yeah, no, I maintain that this is upside down.
Entirely plausible.
Jesus Christ, he's going through this coffee fast.
Yeah, what are we sitting at?
One side update, we're at 11, and apparently there are 2 more parts to this trial.
Oh boy, there is so much more to this trial.
Anyway, yeah.
You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth.
What? I literally said that what she claimed is physically impossible. That's not a matter of subjectivity, that is objectivity. But okay, fine. Let's hear Iris quote-unquote Iris testify once more. I never get tired of getting to her bottom. About what, Your Honor? You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be her final testimony? Don't know. Probably not. Moving the body. Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling, or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there's a way to cross a burning bridge? Oh, this is where I present the Larry photo. Well, probably on that last statement. Anyway, so it was just a misunderstanding. I see.
This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident.
If it had been taken that very night, it would have also contained an idiot falling to his doom in the river below. And that idiot, Your Honor, is the defense attorney. Sorry, I had to add those lines. Ah, yes. It certainly was burned to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires even snapped, huh? There's the rope they used to tie Elise to. How convenient that he's presenting this evidence right now. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly, it would have been it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition. Dusky Bridge photo added to the court record, taken the morning after the crime. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. I will be accused of murder.
Right. I'm only going to say it one more time. ...
Exclamation mark.
It is only human to err. And only humans can spot the errors of our ways.
The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. That is Godot in a nutshell. Or in a coffee bean shell. All right, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. Well, gotta press all the buttons, huh? Press! Hold it. Yes, but if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place,
I couldn't have crossed the bridge, naturally.
Exclamation mark?
But I think it's just like Mr. Godo said. The body did make it across somehow. So I must have just gotten confused.
Fresh! But you seemed to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the snow had already stopped. That's why I presented the weather report on that particular fucking statement.
I'm terribly sorry, I was wrong. ...
The sketch depicts exactly what happened. Okay, fine. ... Does she really think an apology is going to get her off? Phoenix, she's cute. All she has to do is apologize and it gets her off the hook. Yes, it does. This is no joke. You're giving sworn testimony in a court of law. Why come you're not swearing?
Well, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today?
Huh? Well, naturally, it was delicious. ...
You see, it's not that easy to remember, is it?
But if it had been some kind of special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring rain on the day of my elementary school graduation.
Objection! No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, Trite.
Yes, elementary school graduation was in fact a trauma. I had to go through it with Larry Butts. What?
By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. If you insist on obsessing over that one statement, let's see the proof. Show some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire.
I have evidence. So do I have to... Well, obviously gonna press first. Well, I don't see why there couldn't be a way across.
Mr. Wright, don't you think that sounds a bit silly?
Compared to some of the other shit we've dealt with in here, no?
The dead body crossing a burning bridge. Did anyone actually witness?
Yes, Larry Butts.
If there was, I don't think you could call someone like that a witness.
You can. His
After
name is
all,
Larry Butts.
After all, a dream isn't the same as actually seeing something.
I've come all this way, so I owe it to everyone to figure this out. How do you transport a body across a burning bridge?
Even if I don't know the exact answer yet, it's okay. I'll start by examining all of my evidence to see where it takes me. To Larry! Gotta be like a shark. If I don't keep moving, I'm as good as dead. Last statement.
Pick one. Whichever statement is your favorite.
Then we'll go on the first one. Because it does sort of... So it really doesn't matter. I can present Larry's photo on any of them.
There is an expansion block box for every statement.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It means that something will happen if you present Larry's sketch on any statement.
Do I get a penalty?
I don't know, I haven't read them!
Alright, well, fine. Present. Objection! A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? Oh!
You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's being pulled out of thin air.
No. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen.
Preposterous!
Who is it? Who is this witness? I'm sorry, Your Honor. This is going to bring a lot of trauma back from the DL6 case, but I can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go. I love how he tries to trump up Larry's credentials. Ms. Elise Dunim's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Laurice Dunim. Brilliant.
Highly gifted?
Apprentice? Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed... So they're showing you one more time that he saw it upside down. That's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. ...
Dot, 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 dot.
Are you serious? Today is not April Fool's Day, is it? No, I'm pretty sure we still say... Was it sometime in February? I don't fucking remember. That sounds about right. Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket.
Well, right. There's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm going to prove it.
Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down.
Boy, they really hit this fucking nail on the head, didn't they? That's an exclamation mark.
If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch?
Fucking Christ. How much more obvious could... Is Godo actually... Well, of course, Godo knows exactly what happened, so I guess he is actually doing this on purpose, but he's going to fucking implicate himself. Upside down. Why did Godo say that? Alright then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? I don't think old Whiskerface is going to forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. So you're saying that it doesn't give me a penalty if I say that this is exactly what happens? Pokey Delta? It's showing the penalty flashing up in the corner. I mean, I know it's a complete contradiction, but you said right before that I can say that it depicts exactly what happened and not get a penalty.
If you'd like a bit more of a nudge anyway. Because
Fine.
I just skimmed that and you're saying it.
This sketch drawn by Laurice Dunim is exactly what happened. Of course the victim was flying through the air. You could see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh! Dot, dot, dot. You know, you're starting to remind me of yesterday's witness. What? That was the last thing I wanted to hear. Do you have any evidence that the victim flew through the air?
Just so you know, we haven't discovered a giant human catapult at the inner temple.
Ugh, I wish they had.
Even if you're a lousy lawyer, at least you're 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I
Good.
think we should skip the penalty this time.
Oh, hey, that's nice. Nerd. There must be some way. I just know it. And again, they're showing him seeing it upside down, as if Godo saying, turn this sketch upside down, wasn't hitting the damn nail enough. Witness will now return to... God damn it, I gotta do all that shit over again. This is why I never get anything done. Because I'm too busy having fun. Oh, it was actually new lines. God damn it. Well, I missed all those new lines, but doesn't matter. I'm just gonna go straight for it's a complete contradiction. This sketch drawn by Luis Dunim is a complete contradiction. Something is obviously funny about this sketch. No shit, Sherlock! I'm no art critic, but even I can see that. That's why we were all disregarding this as bullshit yesterday. No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Luis Dunim stated it over and over. That sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality?
This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Trite. So what exactly contradicts reality as we know?
Gee, the person flying in mid-air? People can't fly, you know. Or is it the support beams on the bridges? Or, sorry, the support beams on the bridge, which are technically on the bottom. Ooh, I wish I had taken a closer look at that picture of Dusky Bridge earlier. I mean, the obvious thing that you would want to go for would be the flying lady. Because people can't fly. But the less obvious thing would be that I'm pretty sure the support wires are under the bridge. I mean, yes, there was a snapped wire in the picture. But that's what they use to swing her across. I'm just trying to figure out if it's the wires themselves being in the wrong position on the bridge, or the flying lady that's the actual contradiction of reality. What I'm trying to explain is the flying lady. And I explain the flying lady by the position of these wire or whatever majigs being incorrect. Am I on the right track? And if so, is either wire going to do it?
Are you asking me to guide you?
Fuck it, it's just one thing. I'm gonna go for a wire. See where this leads me. Oh hey, it's this wire connected to the bridge. The wire?
Heh, is that the thing that contradicts reality?
It is indeed.
Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out how the sketch contradicts reality.
Well, I took the time to actually check the bridge to see that my suspicions were confirmed. And yeah, it's the bridge. It's the picture of the bridge. That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct? Yes. Now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge, jumping Jehoshaphat! Which again is a combination of an elephant and a Jehovah's Witness. The wires are below the guard wires. Haha! A victory for me! Oh. You peeked for a bit.
What?
Order, order, order! This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong? Yeah, he saw it upside down. Or perhaps he just drew it wrong.
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong.
Phoenix wrong, yes. With someone like Larice, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question. Why did he make a mistake? What was the reason?
Are you saying you know the answer to that?
Yup, have known it from basically the instant I saw that sketch. Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larice was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. We're not going to mention that it was Iris, because we assume Iris is in the room. And I think if Dahlia, who's actually the one in the... I think she would go kill Larry if she found out what he was up to. Anyway, he was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and waited, and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Larice must have been in at the time. Well, he could have been a stomach sleeper, but sure. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembers the scene the way he did. He was lying on his back. I can't see how it relates, but it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in this sketch go up instead of down. Ah!
No way!
Larice Dunim witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. Godo, you fucking moron. You're the one that was telling me to do this. Why is your visor smoking from this? So then, this sketch should actually... I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Larice Dunim's sketch is by throwing it in the incinerator. Oh, I'm sorry. Like this. Oh my god, Phoenix Wright knows how to flip a sheet of paper upside down. It's not flipping it to its other side to see if there's something on the other side of it, mind you, but it's a start. Anyway, this is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge, it was actually swinging below. Told ya. That's right, just like a pendulum.
Ridiculous!
Order, order, order!
Objection! Of all the things to say, a pendulum?
The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And the pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Objection! Let's think about this for a minute, shall we?
Ah, my head is on fire!
Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff.
Sure. Makes sense.
In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you'd need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you'd have to plan ahead.
No. Objection. There's one right in the photo you provided. Lightning strike that night can only have been an accident. So you were originally potentially planning on walking across that bridge. When lightning struck, you were given the rope because the support rope broke. It worked out for you, but it really shouldn't have. So it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready, it was already fucking there.
What?
I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was literally there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. It's called This Photo of Dusky Bridge. If we take a look, you'll see the support wire is broken. And the meaning of this is, if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard. Duh! Hey, someone finally complimented my beard. Take away all this man's penalties, he wins the trial. We're done here. This is one of the wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came, and we noticed that, or I noticed that, when I was exploring Hazakura Temple's inner temple, and saw that it wasn't anchored anymore. God, I'm smart. And an idiot at the same time. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Dunim's body. Tarzan. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. ... delicious hydration. Mr. Godo. Seems that Mr. Godo is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were very high. So I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all.
Objection! Possible or impossible? That is not the question we need to ask.
Is that not exactly the question we need to ask?
There is only one question. Did that really happen?
Oh, fair enough.
Right. I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum?
Is this the autopsy report again saying that it had basically been on impact? Yeah, body fell 10 feet after death? It's gotta be the autopsy report. Because the only other thing that I can think of is the crystal sphere. But that doesn't really prove much of anything.
Funnily enough, both of those are exactly what you need to present.
Oh. Well... Hey, like I said, I'm smart. And stupid! So let's go with the autopsy. No, you know what? Let's go with the little crystal sphere. I presented the autopsy report before. Let Crystal Sphere have a chance. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple. I know where the sphere was found! I know where the sphere was found. Technically, I didn't think that that would have proven anything on its own, but sure, we've got the autopsy report too. So then, that was the spot where the criminal... Yes, precisely. Now, let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. The body was pushed from this point here. It would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point. Did you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What? What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. What kind of evidence? The autopsy report, which Godo doesn't update. I'm proud
Always perfect.
Yes, good man. Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, huh? That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. Yeah, sure, makes about as much sense as anything. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. ... exclamation mark. That's... Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Ms. Elise Dunim's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found. Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. Well, would you look at that? The crystal was found... Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. But what if it was given the left amount of speed? This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Especially considering it's you. But Mr. Wright?
I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godo? Well,
that was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Trite. But you forgot about one thing.
Oh, and what would that be?
The aroma.
Speak English, boy.
A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma.
Okay. The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffeenese. Could you elaborate a bit more?
If the criminal had sent the body to the other side, like you say, then naturally, there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
Not necessarily, but again, it is IRS. An accomplice?
The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So, who collected the body?
IRS.
What do you have to say about that, trite? ...
Exclamation mark. Mr. Godo is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do. Defend precious redhead until everybody else dies? Yeah, that does sound about right. Yes, Your Honor. Body couldn't have been... Okay, that is true. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice. Very well, then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who is the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple side? My fucking attorney's badge! Screw all of you. But in fact, it was Iris. There's no way around this. We know that Bikini saw her. But it just didn't happen the way that she said that it was. And that's the problem. It can only be you, Sister Iris. Huh? Didn't you spend this whole fucking time trying to stop me from claiming to be the accomplice? No, I spent this whole time trying to stop you from blaming Maya for murder. Because once again, it's redheads versus little goblins. But I'm so confused. You just spent, like, I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it.
Objection! Right. Were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the Inner Temple Garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath.
Objection! I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Goda? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using this sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burned-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred. Something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. Oh, here we go. Let's be fair, Pokey Delta. Basically, everyone was called... also, first of all, in his case, I think it's more of an ironic thing calling Iris the woman who looks exactly like the woman who killed him a cutie pie. I think it's more of an ironic thing that he's doing. But, like, in basically every case that Dahlia was in, everyone And their uncle was calling her cute. I suppose except for Mia. And technically except for Armando. But he's just not actually fazed by anything. Anyway, unless you're not really Iris to begin with. What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What? What kind of nonsense is this? The best kind of nonsense, Your Honor. You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Objection! Are you serious, Trite? You mean this woman is...
Oh, he caught on quickly, and I get why he's so fucking frazzled by this. But yes. Yes. There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on the Maya. That woman that's standing there at the witness's stand. Her real name is my fucking attorney's badge. No. Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. ... exclamation mark. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her, Ms. Dahlia Hawthorne. ... That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. True. He was the judge in the case that put her away. Canadian judge was the judge in the Terry Falls case. But he was the judge, because we didn't know about second judge until case 2.
It's just your imagination, Imps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne.
Uh-huh. Am I gonna get to see that file? Probably not. ... Oh yes, I remember now. That case 5 years ago. Phoenix Wright, you were the defendant. My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine. No, the honor is all mine. Oh, that was a clever technique. I liked that. Fading from the judge in the past to the judge, like, just by adding in the color. That was very good. Anyway, but according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month.
So what?
Yes.
Death has no meaning in this courtroom.
That's a bold statement. But sure, I'm going with it. Well, what? Order. What the fuck are you talking about? Wait a moment. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of... Objection! You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of Kurain... The blood of the master of the Kurain channeling technique flows within that body. True, because Maya is the master now. The Kurain channeling technique? Now, where have I heard that? That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. Whoops!
What an What?
Another Jesus Christ, we're burning through them!
He's gonna go, unless he suddenly cuts hard back, he is gonna blast through that count.
Oh yeah, he's already at 14.
What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister, Iris, was.
Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes, and I have evidence.
Objection! We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens?
No, I have evidence. It's no coincidence. Naturally, it was no coincidence, yeah. This whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. Oh hey, I didn't even have to present that! Phoenix just does it on his own. Good job, Phoenix! Anyway, it's all written right here in these instructions. Ah, what's that? These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fey. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. And there are 2 irises just below my temple. In my eyes, in case that wasn't clear.
Yes, I understood the anatomical part.
Anyway, even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 o'clock p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means that the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris. And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Objection! Do you even know what you're saying, Trite?
Usually not, but go on.
This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris.
Prove it. Well, he's not slowing down anytime soon. That's number 15.
Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning. It was later that the body was moved by pendulum.
That's right.
Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far?
Yeah, 2 + 2 = fish. Go on.
After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There, they found Iris in her room and arrested her.
Correct.
And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention.
Nope. That is incorrect. Earthquake. And I knew that was the one fucking reason they had to have that earthquake. But Poke Delta, he's not questioning the Hazakura, he's not questioning the Kurain village or the Kurain channeling technique aspect of it. He's just trying to verify that this is the real Iris and not Dahlia. Right? He is specifically saying that Dahlia was there, just stranded on the wrong side of the bridge.
Phew, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced.
Oh, she's blushing again.
Something still seems off, way off.
I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night.
Huh. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous.
Yes.
Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched place.
Yes, they did. Switched places? To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial. Fingerprints, please. Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere. Yeah, exactly what I said. I said this is the exact reason that the earthquake had to happen. This is the narrative reason. It's the one time they weren't under observation. Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, there been any... Yes! There was one! Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Oh, explain yourself. Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised. Well, who was it? Aha! Who would give a murder suspect time to move about freely like that? I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to. It was entirely your fault, and I'm fucking throwing you under the bus. Because you fucking deserve it. Where is he? Where is he? Yes! This fucker! This is... Mr. Loss's Edgeworth, isn't it? Your Honor. There was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? Or is Godo going to deny that because we don't have the weather report? An earthquake?
Earthquake! Oh my goodness! The inner temple! This kind of tremor might...
How could I have... She fled. She escaped.
We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there, or at least this person was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne. That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind would consider the idea of spirit channeling and... Be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge. ... exclamation mark. That voice.
Guess I'll have to ask again. ...
Well,
Upon
here's
meeting
16.
Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
Dahlia Hawthorne, and my current profession? Permanently retired.
Oh boy. ...
Huh. So, you're not going to bother hiding your identity, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What is going on here? Dahlia Hawthorne. Welcome back, sweetheart. Do you need a hug?
I never thought we'd meet again, and I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her, and for myself.
I knew this was where we were getting a to be continued.
Yeah, it just works.
It does. Welcome back, Dahlia. So I'm actually doing pretty well on my guesses so far. I'm proud of myself. But alright, that's damn near perfect timing. So
Yeah, genuinely.
we're going to call it here for the night. Ooh. I look forward to seeing where this trial goes from here because, strictly speaking, Dahlia's right. Not much you can do to punish her since she's already dead.
Yeah, like, what are you gonna do?
Kill the
Executor?
person, right? Kill the person that's channeling her. No, that'll just kill Maya, just like it killed Misty. Because I'm pretty sure Misty was like, I'm pretty sure that Misty was channeling Dahlia that night to try to stop Pearl from doing it. I think Misty might have thought that her spirit powers might have been strong enough to keep Dahlia in check and was wrong. Anyway, this is an exciting case and I quite like it. I'm very glad Dahlia is back. She's an absolute cutie as always. And Phoenix isn't wrong. We're going to end this in the best way possible. Probably. That said, that's going to have to wait until next week. In the interim, though, if you only caught part of tonight's stream, you can check out the full thing over on my YouTube channel over there. I will be uploading it there once I am done with my stream this evening. If you were watching this on YouTube and you wish to catch me live on my Twitch channel, you can catch me live over there. I go live Monday evenings and Wednesday evenings at 7:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Monday evenings, of course, are Ace Attorney 3, though perhaps for 1 or 2 more weeks. Likely 2 more weeks at this point, if there's 2 more.
I'm gonna say 2 more, at
Yeah.
least, judging by this.
Yeah, just about. We'll aim to hit a to be continued during my next Monday night stream so that I can just plow through to the end in a couple of weeks. But we'll see. So yeah, for a couple more weeks, more Ace Attorney 3. Wednesday evenings are Shadows Over Loathing, and given how much I've been trying to actively avoid the main plot, that's going to go on for at least a little while longer. Though I know LG's not going to be watching, but hey,
I will not.
I'm glad you're playing the game. I do hope you enjoy it, and I will try not to spoil anything for you, but you really do get some fun abilities as a jazz agent, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, honestly, I'm not even using my jazz agent power at the moment.
You can you will. There's one in particular that's actually very good. Actually, two that I used very regularly in my Jazz Agent run of the game, both of
Well,
which helped me beat a secret boss, let me just say.
actually, that's a little bit of a lie. I have started using jazz hands.
I figured. Anyway, if you want to know what Shadows Over Loathing is actually like, stop by here on Wednesday evening and I'll show you. It's quite fun.
If the phrase jazz agent and fighting with jazz hands hasn't piqued your interest, I don't
Well,
know what will.
keep in mind you won't actually see that on this channel because I'm a cheese wizard and I fight with Parmesan missiles. God, I love that game. Anyway, enough about that. You can also catch me over on the Bulba Garden Twitch channel Sunday mornings at 8:30 a.m. Currently streaming Pokemon Crystal. Took out Morty yesterday, then fumfered and bumbled around instead of going to Olivine City like I should have. I decided to take a detour and go to Mahogany Town instead. I'm actually somewhat curious to see how far it will let me go into the Lake of Rage thing before it stops me. But at the same token, I also want to see Jasmine because she is best Gen 2 gym leader. And yes, LG, Jasmine, not Whitney. Whitney is redhead. Jasmine not. Well, her overworld sprite is, but anyway, enough of that. You can also find other fun streamers over on the Bulba Garden channel, such as the Caps Fan, who usually streams Thursday evenings and Saturday mornings. You can also catch him on his channel over there. Actually, I think he's currently streaming. Nope, Jiggy is streaming. So okay, we might raid Jiggy, but yeah, you can catch Caps when he's live over on his channel there, or on the Bulba Garden channel when he goes live there. Dawning usually streams Saturday evenings on the Bulba Garden channel when she is feeling well, or sometimes on her own channel over there. There are other excellent streamers on the Bulba Garden channel, such as Dapper Cody and Mochi, so be sure to check out that as well. Like I said, I think we're going to go raid Jiggy, so please stick around for the raid. Thank you all for keeping me company this evening, and as always, I am Maniacal Engineer, and I'm never going to give you up, never going to let you down. Thank you all for watching, and God bless this mess.
Good night, everybody.